Good evening, everyone. This is Nakia coming on briefly. I am getting ready to go do what I call a power hour on my business. I just got off of work, and I believe that when you're working and you also have purpose work, you make time for that. And so I call it a power hour. So I'm just in a transitional phase right now before I go ahead and devote some time towards my business. And I wanted to just come on tonight and just talk about this whole issue of an importance of not dimming your light or diminishing your light for no one. And I'm bringing it up because honestly, it's just been something I've been reminded of. And this might be something that you might be dealing with. And it's kind of like you find yourself getting, compliments from people. And if you find yourself like shutting down those compliments, like instead of receiving them, for example, I think someone complimented me and told me I look good today. Like, oh, you look really nice. And I'm like, oh, it's just this coat, instead of receiving the compliment, like it's just this quick response to like shut it down. And I think that consciousness, that mindset comes from because we're told to like, oh, you should be humble. And, it's almost like we shouldn't celebrate ourselves or allow others to celebrate us. And that is something that I am constantly in between. Some days I do really well at it, where someone may compliment me and I receive it. I'm able to take that in. And then some days it's a little different. And I've been finding myself, I'm like catching myself like, wow, you did it again. Like they complimented you on your work. They complimented you on how you look, and you didn't receive it fully, and that, I think, this whole idea of being humble kind of tells us like, we're not worthy of receiving a compliment or being celebrated when we really are, and I do understand the challenge as well with like celebrating yourself or allowing somebody else to celebrate you in the moment. Because I've also been in positions where like someone complimented me on something and then I started adding to it, or I started like getting in that same energy, like, yeah, thank you. And, this is when I did this. And, and then you slowly see the person's face start to change. Like they look at you like, oh, who do you think you are? Like you shouldn't be celebrating, you should just receive the compliment and not even add anything to it. Like I've like felt that as well. And it's like, well, if a person is being genuine, then shouldn't they keep that same energy if you bring the energy back? So either way, like whether, you're allowing someone to compliment you and you receive it, or if you're like shutting it down, like we have to be able to celebrate ourselves and like honor ourselves and feel that we're worthy of being celebrated, because you are the ish. Okay, like whatever it is that you're doing, and even if it ain't even doing nothing, the fact that you woke up, the fact that your presence and your light just went inside of a space or a room, because a lot of times your energy speaks before you do, and people notice that. And so it's okay to bask in that. It's okay to receive that. It's okay to honor that. It's okay to celebrate that, because you're worthy of being celebrated. You're worthy of being honored. You're worthy of acknowledging your accomplishments. And so this message is for me, and it's for you. If you are tuning in and if it's resonating with you, definitely let me know, because I just think we just need to break this whole cycle of like dimming your light, and not really lifting it up. I know in my mastermind program called Magnetic Woman, like one of the principles is to be unapologetic about our light, and to really honor that and celebrate that, and know that our light is contagious, and we want to spread that light and share that light, and so that's something I'm constantly like working towards. Some days I'm in that, and some days it's hard, where I notice like, wow, you really just shut that compliment down, and the truth is, they don't need to know all that information. Like if if somebody complimented you on your outfit or your bag or whatever, and you had it for 5 years, and they don't need to know you had that bag for 5 years. They don't need to know your dress is old or whatever. They don't need to know none of that. Because honestly, a lot of times people are complimenting you on your energy. Like if your light is radiant and it is glowing, like people will pick something, because they don't know what it is. It's you. You know what I'm saying? And they'll pick something to say, that looks good or I like that. But a lot of times it's your energetic. And so all I'm saying is keep shining. Keep shining. Keep lifting your light up. Keep being you. Keep being yourself. And again, this is a message for self, and I'm going to go back and be reminded of this because I want to catch myself more often, when it comes to, shutting down, receiving compliments for who I am, who I be. It's the truth. It ain't like it's a lie. So why not bask in the truth of who I am and how I be? Like, that's important. We got to be able to lift that up instead of like closing in and closing down and like, oh, be humble, don't celebrate, don't say too much. Like, I think it's a subconscious thing around that, like it's something deep and subconscious around that. And I want to break that shit. Excuse me for cursing. I normally don't curse, but I'm like, I want to break that cycle because I feel like we should be able to lift up our accomplishments and who we are and who we be. And if somebody else sees that, bask and celebrate with them, okay? Because you deserve it and you're worthy. And so that's really all I wanted to come on here and share. I am getting ready to go inside this cafe and work on my business and do my power hour. And if this resonated with you, definitely comment. Let me know if this is something that you deal with, that you struggle with. I would love to hear what you think. All right, well, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Peace, love, and light.